Welcome back, Hunters. I'm the Survivalist, and we return Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, where we're going to be taking out one of the deviant armor sets for today's hunt, and we're probably taking out one of the hardest deviant sets to actually get and fight too. So I'm just going to put those back, and we're going to take both the armor and its weapon with us. And that deviant is the Bloodbath Diablos. So we're going to get that fully equipped. And the Kazusa, there it is. And just to give us the full experience with it, we're going to change its armor pigment as well to Bloodbath. Now, you only get the pigments if you complete the extreme versions of Deviant. So those are the only two I have, and yeah, Bloodbath is quite a challenge. It basically, with how, I mean, a lot of monsters have with how hard they hit, you don't really get a chance of making mistakes that much. It's basically, you get one shot, and you only have as many cards as you have for mistakes you can make in a hunt. Solo, it was quite a challenge for it, and I think what we're going to go with is, I think Pierce Up is going to be what I'll build for. Because truth be told, we don't really have that much play around with when it comes to, like, decorations and stuff like that. I don't actually have the decoration I really would like to give this, which is a normal up plus 6 and then 3 slots. Because then I could give normal up to this build, because that is what it specializes in, but it's not bad being able to give it Pierce Up. And one of the things about Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is you don't really get to know the full amount of stuff for, like, what certain skills do. Like, we have Pierce Up, Negative Up but when you have Deviants, this is the only explanation you get in-game for them. So, I apologize if I'm incorrect in remembering what these skills are this activates, but Bloodbath X, I believe, combines Attack Up either Medium or Attack Up Large, I can't remember which one it is, Evasion plus 2, and there's a third one that I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember what the third one is. I know it's a combination of 3 different skills, but I'm afraid I can't remember. But the big draw for this set is the Bitter Affinity skill. Skill which gives negative affinity attacks chance to be strong affinity. Now, normally, I think an affinity attack, like, what affinity does is basically like your chance for critical hit. So you have, like, the higher it goes, the more chances you have for hits to be critical. I think the modifier is 30% to 40% more damage for a critical hit. Something like that. It's like 1.4 times damage on a critical hit. With the negative affinity, though, if it does proc, I believe it's a double modifier. So for all the attacks that have, like, a less than... It's kind of confusing to kind of put into perspective, because affinity, it is your critical hit chance, but then if it's in the negative, it means you also have a chance of some of those hits of doing less damage than they should, which I think is like they do 75% damage? Something around there. But yeah, if you're able to have the Bitter Affinity thing happen, you still can have some hits that will do the less damage than a stamped hit would. But there's a chance that some of them will also be a super strong hit. So that's where the Kazusa in this can be an interesting combination to use. Because for a lot of weapons, it's not worth it to try running it. But I think the light bowgun with the Kazusa actually might be one where it could. Now, you could argue you also want to get the negative affinity even lower, so that way you have more negative affinity attack strike, but I don't super know if that'll be worth the offset you get there. So we're going to take this out. Oh, I also do want to change it out from that to just absolute readiness and take that off. Yeah, the SP doesn't really feel worth it. Maybe in certain hunting styles it is worth it to have the SP whatever, but I don't really find that. So we just have to stock on some normal 2, but we can also use Pierce 3, and that's probably going to be our full setup right there. Although one thing, I actually might change this up to another hunting style. I might try to change this up to the Adept. Because with the Adept, that's going to give us an extra damage boost of whenever we do use it. As yeah, it says Adept style is about waiting till that. Devastating counterattacks, blah blah blah. Actually, okay, you know what? I'm going to activate that, because I want to check out what the SP state means. It says, gives you an extended period to carry out insta moves. I don't know if that just means you have more of a window you can do an input that'll register, or it means something else entirely. We'll have to find out. But yeah, we'll just go for Temper, have that, and see which monsters are the unlucky ones for today's hunt. Okay, G2. Amalfestio, Rathian. Maybe we'll go for a Shogun Senator. Oh, you know what? I think, actually, maybe we'll do a double desert hunt. I'm thinking Barroth and Nibelsnarf, because Nibel's a fun hunt. I just have to remember to take some barrel bombs with me. But yeah, we'll try this out and see how it goes. And Nibel is probably also one of the monsters where I'd say it might feel super necessary to have the Adeptor of the Valor modes for it. Once we get into the hunt, it'll probably get into more of an explanation as to why, but at least for Barroth, this should be a fun engagement for us. Because I've talked about how for Monster Hunter, you have some fights that really do feel like a rhythm game in a way, where it's like a bullfight against monsters. Barroth is one with the Adept style. It really will feel like that. Now, I think he likes hanging around here first. Oh, yeah, there he is. No, already got a part break in, although I think that's one of the easiest parts on Barroth to break. Now, the way to tell whether there's actually a visual indicator for, like, how you know if your hits are hitting regularly or if they're an affinity boosted or negate or reduced attack. Like, if you just see the yellow flash, that is your indication that it is just a regular attack. See if I can actually get the shots to connect. But you might see a flash of purple coloration. That is when it's a negative affinity hit. It's a little tricky to see because apparently I'm not getting any of them. Actually, I might have to... I thought it was you get a damage boost, but is it... You actually get an affinity boost? I can't really tell, because I thought I would have seen more of, like, a negative affinity. There was one. Yeah, once you see it the first time, it's pretty noticeable, but it seems like it's a little rare to have them going off for me. And I was talking about, like, the bullfighting sort of feel. This is exactly why. Just literally dodging right through its charges and getting a few shots back and forth. Now, fortunately, even if you'll chain, like, a lot of evasions together, you don't have them added to, like, lengthen the time you get in, like, this state. It has a set amount, you basically just refresh it on every evasion. I should say evade you pull off. Oh, and that is one thing to mind, is that you might get caught by certain attacks or such as you're going through, like, certain animations with it finishing up. I don't think I've got... Yeah, no, there's no slicing to this light bowgun. Okay, he's digging his way off, so let's just pick up some of the shinies, or maybe the only one, and keep after him. Barroth is probably one of my favorite, like, early monsters to fight in any of the entries of the game, because it's one that I feel has done so well for its role. It's meant to basically be a bulldozer and teach you the importance of getting your timing right for when you can strike a monster, as well as really reminding you to avoid getting hit by charges. For the light bowgun, it is crucial that you avoid getting hit by the charges because of how powerful they generally are as a physical attack. But the Kazusa also has a little bit of a trait that can make it a little unwieldy too, which is it has severe deviation to the left and right. It's basically meant to be use this in close quarters combat, because otherwise you don't really shoot straight. My case in point is I'll aim for the head, but you can see shots are going middle, left, right, all over the place. That one didn't even hit entirely. So to balance out it having a pretty high raw damage value, I think it's actually one of the highest raw damage bowguns in the game. Well, actually, all the bowguns are raw damage, but you know what I mean. It's really strong for its value of damage. Like, it has, what? Yeah, 378 to it, so that's pretty high. I think there's only a couple or so bowguns that have higher damage value for, like, the light versions. I know one of them is... I don't know if I'll really be able to make a build with it because it is such an unwieldy one, but it's Yukonlos's light bowgun. I think it has like 399 with the long barrel attached. It is a monster of a light bowgun for its value, but it doesn't really have any good build directions for itself. See if I can try to get him snapped out of that. And you know what? Since we are now out of normal 2, we'll go to using Pierce. Although one thing about... Ah, shoot, got hit by the mud again. Okay, not going to have anybody help me out of that. So I'll have to just try to snap out of... There we go. Yeah, I'm used to using the Valor style on this because of the recoil reduction you get, too. That's the trade-off for going more heavy into offense, is... I have to be more mindful of, like, your... defenses. So pacing is going to probably slow down a little bit here for a while. If I wanted to, I could make more normal too, because I do keep the items on me at all times, try to make more. But I figure we'll get a little bit of a change up in here too. The next hunt we go on after Nibelsnarf, I'll probably switch this back to Valor just to show, like, how big of a difference there is when it comes to, like, the recoil change. Okay, he's probably only going to dig to the next area. I think Barroth is one that has to go step by step between each area before it can get back to its nesting ground. Oh, and that actually does put us into a good position to make use of the shock trap while one of the Palicos put out. They do have some utility here and there, but it's more so like I don't think you'd be able to steadily rely on them for it. And Pierce is also a bit of a bad shot type for the Kazusa, because again, the deviation on it. Right, so let's head over and try to get these last hits in. What if I should try for something silly like using heavy to finish him off? Yeah, I'm basically kind of dicking around here for the last little bits, but it's not like it hurts too much to do so. Unless I do something stupid and get smacked with mud like that. And yeah, that's where you gotta be careful of your animations. Nope. Actually... I was hoping to try to maybe take him down with the Wyvern, just end with a nice big blast, but I don't know if we'll be able to get it. Oh, there we go. Basically had him land on top of me. Yeah, the Kazusa can be a fun one, but I want to see what happens if I do change it out of Valor, or out of Adept style. I feel like I should have been getting a few more negative affinity procs. So I'm wondering if that's one of the things that happens is instead of a damage boost, it's an affinity boost you get from using the Adept. So I don't think I'll be able to get one of these guys to actually attack me and dodge through it. Yeah, oddly enough, now the cats have some use. Come on, just... I guess I'll have to go off of Anecdote, but when you do dodge through an attack with Adept style, for the light bowgun, you get a blue coloration around your ammo. So I'm wondering if maybe that does mean it's affinity boosted rather than damage. But a Barroth hunted, another one off the roster list. Plenty more still to go, though. Like, again, this is only G2, we still have old G3 and G4, and then Deviant, so... yeah, we're probably going to be going for quite a while still. Oh, actually got a Wyvern gem. Although, I think that's the high rank version. I think the large Wyvern gems are the G rank equivalent. Okay, but let's quickly see about getting ourselves prepped for... going out once again, but this time we will switch up to the different style. Take that, that's all good. As for whether a Deviant armor will actually be good for your Rup type, the only thing I can really tell you is you'll have to look up and see what skills, like, the armor type itself gives you. Like, outside of using the Kazusa, I don't know if there would be anywhere else you would really have, like, utility for the Bloodbath Diablos set. Like, maybe I could try getting it to work with the Yukonlos because of the... yeah, it's 399 attack damage, but it has negative 30 raw. No rapid fires, and it also has a pretty big recoil, very high, so super hard to work with. But we'll take this out, we'll show off what it can do, and we'll also take some barrel bombs. Because with Nibelsnarf, it is a fun one that you have to show off the little bit of a special interaction it has. Yeah, I'll take those. Just probably go for the temper again. There we are. G2, where's our nibble? There's our nibble. Share the load and reward. And we're going to be sharing a few loads from the bowgun for sure. So, actually we're back in this desert map. Okay, truth be told, I think the best way to find him is going to be going down south to the big open plains. Because, like, Nibble, I think, really only has 2 or 3 areas you can kind of go between on this map. Although that kind of holds true for Nibble on every desert map. I think every iteration he's been in, he basically is only confined to, like, no, maybe no, Portable Third, where he first got introduced, and 3 Ultimate, he might have a little bit more spots he can hang out in. There he is. The big old sand salamander. Or sand newt. I'm not really sure which one he would fall under more so. I was leaning salamander because of, like, once we do get his stamina down, we'll get to see, like, as the subquest said, he does have gills to him, kind of like an axolotl, but the only way we'll see them is if we can get him to have a stamina lowered. Which is another reason why Valor is pretty helpful against him here. And this is where we'll see if we can have a bit of fun with him. Because he likes eating your barrel bombs. And then, when he's in this state, you can fish him out too. There's the big lug. Yeah, it's probably one of the most fun little gimmick monsters with that bit to him. It's also a good way of trying to break the front arms on him, because they are one of his breakable parts. Oh, actually had his back end lifted up off the ground a little bit there. Yeah, and he's not going to learn either. No, I think, though, maybe we'll have to use a different barrel bomb. I think the large ones guarantee he will pop up like that, but you might have to use 2 for after the first one he does. And there's the gills appearing there for that attack. So that's where I think he's more Sand Salamander than Newt, but again, might be mistaken. Now, you can also get him with bombs on, like, him doing the digging attacks. But it's a little harder to pull off because I think you basically have to place down the bomb, then throw a sonic bomb at them to encourage him to do his lunge at that, or at that spot. So for the most part, when he does the dig, it's best just to kind of sheath the weapon and try to keep an eye on where he's going to be digging out of. And be mindful of the sand beam. I got a little greedy trying to destroy another hard-to-reach part for, I think, mostly Blade Masters. Gunners with the Pierce shot probably have a pretty easy time going for it. And I think what I'll do is now we'll put this one down. And you have to be pretty quick about trying to fish him up out of the sand after he does pop. You get a few moments to do so, but it's not really a very generous timer. And if you are too close as you're trying to fish him and you fail, you're going to be in store for quite a heavy hit too. Well, that's the front legs broken, so he's only got 2 more parts to break. One we can't see yet because he's not, like, low of stamina. But now we'll switch to Pierce, just to be able to work at the other one. And the other part we're going to try breaking is actually the uvula that you see in his mouth once he... Yeah, you can see it bright in there. That's what we're aiming for to try to get. The only problem is, there's not a lot of times you get it when his mouth is, like, wide open to be able to attack and go for it. And being too close, yeah, it gets you a pretty nasty tail slap. So that's where I think gunners with the Pierce have a better chance at getting it broken out. Because I'm pretty sure the damage can hit that as long as you got the aim right, even with its mouth closed. Yeah, that's another reason why sheathing might not be a bad idea to do when he goes under. That can be a pretty devastating attack. Oh, I think we broke it. I have to wait and see. Yeah, looks like we did break it. So now that only leaves 1 more part to go for, and that's the gills, but I'll have to wait for him to get out of stamina to do that. And one thing, now, because we have Valor, I might actually test it out and see if we can use the Valor dodge. Oh. Honestly, that kind of looks like a tiny devil joke compared to Nibble there. I think Nibble's moving on out. Yeah, Nibble just got hit by the dung bomb, so I think he'll probably be out of the area. We'll just come down here for a moment and see what happens. Oh, yeah, there we go. Alright, I want to talk and see, like... Okay, well, we're not looking for those lunges, because we can probably... I mean, if it actually connected, we likely would have been able to have the Valor dodge through that. Oh, is that... Yeah, he's weak on... or he's low on stamina now, so those are the big old gills he has. And they're gone. Now, I think... I might have to check. I believe the Kazusa might be able to rapid-fire Crag... It can fire Crag, too. So if I brought those along, using the Valor dodge shots, I'd have another time easier knocking him out with those, too. Although the stupid Apsaros right now is basically acting like a bodyguard for it, which is... Yeah, you know what? We'll let him knock them all around for us. There we go. Yeah, so his mouth doesn't open when he gets knocked out, so it is pretty limited on how many times you'll be able to get, like, the strikes in for the mouth break. Okay, let's see. Where are you going? Oh! I thought he was going to be doing a sand beam, but... Okay, no, not doing a second one. Yeah, the Nibelsnarf you really need to be careful of is the hyper version. Because its attacks are really strong. Strong enough to the point of, like, almost one-shotting you if you're not careful. And likely, unless you do have endgame armor, it likely will one-shot you with certain ones. I think the beam, and then one of, it's like from below it spikes up like that. Okay, so we can Valor through that. Good to know. I'd still be very cautious about doing it, because Valor... I think any attacks from behind you can't use the Valor on. So depending on where your positioning is with him, you might still be able to get through and do some pretty nasty damage to you. And you know what? Maybe we'll just work with some more Pierce shots. I think that'll speed this up a bit more. Because, yeah, you can see the difference from Adept earlier this episode to Valor now that we have the double recoil reduction. No. Thought it was going to be a lunge from below. There we go. Didn't even realize he was that weak, but we put in quite a bit of shots at him. Yeah, he's a really fun addition from Portable Third, and he's one where might be able to squeeze into wilds because of, like, the Windward Plains look like it has so much sand area, but also hard to know. I actually think his weakest spot might be his tail, but I'm probably mistaken on there. It's likely more so the inside of his mouth. But yeah, that was Nibelsnarf and Barroth, a couple of nice third-generation monsters. Again, the third gen is still my favorite monster hunter. I think it just had a nice combination of really ecology-built monsters, or designed ones. And they do have some pretty fun hunts to them with, like, again, Barroth is just a great teacher for knowing your timing and charges. And for Nibble here, having a few little gimmicks of, like, it eats the bombs as well as being able to fish it out. But yeah, that concludes another episode of Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, and I think the last episode of this week is I'll try a focus build using Charge Shot. It's a weird one, but that's kind of more all the reason to try making it work, or at least showing one off. Yeah, sell that. If you were to ask me, though, about, like, which style would I recommend players more so, Adept or Valor, I gotta go for Valor. I feel like you get much more survivability as well as utility out of Valor than Adept provides. Like, Adept can be super good, but once you hit G rank, it feels like the monsters do have their openings a lot more covered, and you're more susceptible to getting struck by certain things. Like, as we saw with Barroth, the mud balls that fly off after charges, or there are other monsters that almost have their timing so perfect. As soon as you get the first dodge in, they're already about to hit you with something else, and you don't really have much time to react, if any. But overall, we got to show off the Bloodbath Diablos armor set, show off the weapon, and just enjoy another couple hunts. So, thank you all very much for joining me on this episode of Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. If you did like the video, be sure to give it a like, and if you have any comments, tips, or tricks, be sure to leave comments right down below. Until I see you all in the next video or episode, Hunters and Survivors, please remember, as always, to take care, stay alive, and happy hunting.